Hey, welcome to today's video. Now, if you are new to the channel and you would like to learn more about cryptocurrency, hit that subscribe button and press that bell button so you don't miss anything. Now, let's talk today about altcoins. I've got a couple of altcoins, you can probably see by the title, with good fundamentals. I'm going to explain why these are kind of good and also what to look for in the technical side of it. So do not just exit this video because I'm saying, oh, mainnet. I'm going to explain to you when you should also look at getting involved, because one element I'm going to teach you right at the start before the video even starts. FA tells you what to invest in, TA tells you when. Let's start. Right, so good morning. Wealth Wednesdays, I talk about kind of making money. It's a bit hard in the altcoin market. Only certain things are moving, but over the next 6 weeks, there's a few coins out there that have got a few little interesting developments that could create a little bit of interest and hype. How to make money, obviously. Now, if you're following me on TradingView, hi, 63 of you already. So jump in, Crypto Mobster is my username. Again, check out the links below into my Telegram group. It's free. I also have premium and courses and all kinds of good stuff. So if you want to learn more and stick to the simple elements of cryptocurrency, do that. Now let's talk about the first one, Ethereum Classic Y. There's network upgrades coming. There's also a hard fork coming. Ethereum Classic's an interesting one. Came out recently. It was struggling with funding and money, and it's currently being rebacked and all kinds of good stuff. Now, I'm here to make money, guys. Simple as that. Not to create hype or anything. I'm not a holder, but I'm going to teach you exactly one way to look at getting involved. But what you need to know as it stands right now with Ethereum Classic is simple. The end of the month, i.e. end of September, we're talking about the next month, just so you've missed an element of the title. A big network upgrade's coming, okay? That's usually a good thing. There's also a hard fork. That's also a very good thing. That's in the middle of the month. So, Ethereum Classic, put it on your watch list. There's a hard fork coming, guys. Hint, hint, ding, 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 ding. Bell sign. There's also a network upgrade. This creates a bit of hype and media coverage and YouTubers like me talking about it. Hello. So, we'll look at that in more detail on the chart in a minute. So that's number one that you want to look at. Okay, keep an eye on it. Number two, Function X. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've covered Pundi X quite a lot. I've also covered Function X quite a lot because I quite like the future side of where we're going with it. However, it's a risky bag, but you can make money out of it. Function X is a totally different type of token to the Pundi X token, and I'll be honest with you, this Bob phone looks a bit odd. But hey, I probably won't buy it, I'm an iPhone geek. Anyways, this has got some POS kind of transactions coming at the end of the month. A little bit of hype and kind of element around the phone is starting to build. So check out for publications, check out for certain things. But just going to quickly look at my other screen, because I've got a ton of stuff here that you can't see, which is good to keep it less cluttered. With the Function X, there is a full-on testnet coming. So that is going to create a little bit of eyeballs to the Function X element, which is totally different to Pundi X. But, they're all a part of the same element, okay? If this pumps, you're most likely going to see some interest in the Pundi X because it's the same thing. If you just go back to Pundi X here, it's all part of the same ecosystem, okay? So just be, make sure you know what the differences are between each one. Make sure you know what token you're investing in. One is for borderless payments using a device, really, really simple. One is like, internet kind of element related to a phone, protecting you, keeping your data safe, using a blockchain phone. It's interesting, but ultimately we're here to make money. Don't worry too much about the technology. Worry about the price. Worry about, is it going up? Should I invest in it? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, why? Fundamentals are telling me this is coming out. Okay, cool. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at here. So I hope that makes sense. Now, another one to mention as well. I've also mentioned this in a full video, is Matic. Matic Network is kind of a big fish in the element of scalability in the Ethereum world. Ethereum is rubbish. at the moment. But Matic kind of has that element of, you know, problem solving that could leverage, or can be leveraged, sorry, on the Ethereum network. Now, this is pumped a lot. I'm going to look at the Matic chart with you guys as well. This has got a full mainnet launch at the end of September. So this is kind of a key element of interest. It's had a lot of, you know, big things happening, but mainnet is the big one. The big woohoo, hello, we're here, we're live. So expect a little bit of hype and a little bit of a push. It's went up really high, came really low. It's kind of hovering in the middle. This could go again, but like all altcoins, the dominance in BTC is really high, but some coins do run. Look at OneChain. OneChain's recently gone up 180% in 3 days. 3 days, guys. Unbelievable. So there will be some runners. There will be some runners. Now, this is why I'm kind of explaining the fundamentals now, and then I'm going to show you something in a minute, what to look for in the technical element, okay? And lastly, Solar, or Insolar. Not a bad little bit of kit. It's mainly business related. I wouldn't worry too much about the fundamentals of what it is. Just understand that something big is kind of happening with this as well. So let me just go to my next page on this screen. And there's a few things I need to rattle off. So there's mainnet. 30th of September, there is a mainnet launch. Big deal. There's also a wallet coming out. Big deal. They've got a product to service. And they've also got an enterprise platform. Proof of concept. So there's got 3 big releases coming. That could create some kind of hype and some kind of interest. And again, we're going to look at the chart. This is on Binance too. And unlucky if you're in America, because I don't know what's going to happen in terms of when their US platform's out. So if you're in America and you need to, or you want to buy any of these, check out other, obviously, exchanges. So there, yeah, cool, awesome. That's all I'm going to go into, okay? But we're going to go to the technical side of it. So again, if you're not following me on TradingView, do so. Now, I have a watch list. This is kind of my watch list here, okay? I wouldn't worry too much about it. But we're going to look at Ethereum Classic first. Why? Because why not? You do not want to buy in dollar. You want to buy in Bitcoin. The old bitties. Because this is where the most money is, okay? This is where you can grow your Bitcoin. Remember, if you learn with me, you will know this. Now, it's kind of been moving a little bit already. It's already hit a ceiling, but that's good. We're above the trend line element. So, if you've watched some of my other videos, you'll know that I enter a little bit here, I'll enter a little bit here, and I'll enter a lot here. Because when you look at historic data, whenever you're above the moving averages, obviously this part you would have been because this is a previous bull run. When you're below this region, it's usually a bear market. And you can see here already, you know, it doesn't take much of a rocket scientist to work out that if you're below the moving average 100, more often than not, you probably find it's coming down anyways. I mean, there's only a few times it goes up. So you got to remember, these are getting low, guys. Freaking low. And this is on the daily. But if you want to do it on the 6 hour, you can. But again, you can kind of see the momentum of where we're going down. So what you need to look at is, are we above these elements? Now, you could have entered here. I mean, it sounds really, really noddy for me to say that. But these trend lines just kind of give you a bull and a bear element. You do not want to enter a coin based on fundamentals alone, because you could lose. You base it on fundamentals and also rules within technical analysis. Data. Mathematical data that is created by moving averages is usually the best form to understand, are we in a bearish trend or are we in a bullish trend? Simple. So again, look at this, for example, a crossover on here, you know, you're up, you're making money, you're happy days. Now, this could also crash and burn, but also you'll know that you can take your position out when it goes below certain elements. So, up to you on your style of play. Now, you can use a 4 hour time frame, you can use a 6, you can use a 12 or a daily. Personally, I would use a higher time frame for investing, positional trading essentially, okay? Now, this is obviously, we're going to use a 4 hour just to kind of show you it, okay? I personally use longer time frames, but when I'm investing or positional trading, you're going to hold for at least 3 to 4 weeks. This gives you a lot of time to get bedded in, and it rises with the trend, or the tide essentially. Now, you can see here, we've gone up, we've hit a ceiling, we're starting to come down. We're looking a bit bearish on the RSI, we're coming down, and obviously the MACD is coming down too. So that's an indication saying that we are retracing, we're correcting. So don't just jump in just yet. Wait to see where it goes. Now, another element that you can do put a Fibonacci on an element of the latest rise over that last day, and you can see we could potentially go down to here as a potential stopping point. But ultimately with Fibonacci's, you want to try and get a start of the move, and the start of the move is pretty much here. It's a bit further down actually. So always remember, zoom out a bit further if you can and look and see where we are. We're currently at that region there. We could bounce off it, but we can also go a bit further down. So look at that now. I use the EMA 34, the moving average 100 and the moving average 200 predominantly as my EMAs. It's easy. If I'm trading like leverage, I use the EMA 8 as well, but you can also put the EMA 8 on here to see as a starting point. If you want to get involved straight away, which you can, just put an EMA 8 on as well. Because if you're above the trend on here, cool. If you're below it like that, you want to start getting out. So, it's a good mixture to have different elements that you can rely on. But, for simplicity, we're going to do that. Now, that's Ethereum Classic, but what I would do, look at the daily. The daily is really key, and I cannot explain it enough. I think we're going to see a lot of coins trend above the EMA to the moving average 200 for a long time over the future, which is going to be really key. And with Bitcoin, for example, you got a lot more data. We were in a bear market of 15 months below the moving average 200. Look at this. How long? It's been a long time. We only just got over it there. We rejected. When you look, when we're above it, we would have been above it on these regions here, obviously, but the data isn't there. But you see that you're only above it a little bit there, back down above it. Bearish market, guys. So look at the moving average 100 at least. Okay, so this region here, if you were keeping an eye on it and you knew the fundamentals, you would look at buying around here, or this region here at least. Looking at getting a little bit in, get your foot in the door, a little bit of your money into it. When you break above this moving average, a little bit more. When you get above that, a little bit more, because you're already averaged in at these regions. It's less risky as you're going with the trend. Okay, the trend is this. As this moves up, now again, another little tip: if you want to put the moving average 21 on there, or the EMA 21, do so, because you can. It's a bit faster. Okay, but entirely up to you. Anyways, that is that one. Let's look at Matic, because Matic's always a good one to look at. Matic doesn't have as much data, so you've got to use a shorter time frame. Again, we're above the moving average 200 on Matic, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so you look back here, you think, right, cool. Would have been above it, obviously, on that pump. Below. We're now above it here, and we've been above it for a while. Now we went below it. Now we're actually holding above it. So this is a really optimum point to get involved in Matic, I think, because you're above the trend. If the moving average holds, you're laughing. I wouldn't enter just yet. This could go back down to this region. However, if it breaks above these moving averages here, look at getting involved. The fundamentals in Matic is pretty cool, but there's also other elements that you need to bear in mind. The MACD is looking quite good at the minute, and also the RSI is starting to go up into those bullish regions. Even though it is kind of neutral at the minute, it is starting to go there. So this could get a lot more interest. And again, possible targets you can even aim for. They're quite big moves. Look at that from the point of that resistance there. Crazy gains, 18%. But yeah, it can go a lot higher. So keep a close eye on Matic. Matic I've covered in other videos. TA wise, it's looking okay. Fundamentals, yeah, getting there definitely. Now I'll look lastly at INS. Interesting element. It's a relatively new, kind of to the fore of people's minds. It's been around for a while, but it's it's one of those things where it's kind of you just look at it and think, whoa, what's happened here? Came out in the bear market, essentially bang, and it died. And again, the 4-hour time frame's looking quite interesting. You've got to look at elements, but look at the daily, guys. The daily is unbelievable. I mean, we've been above the moving average 200 a little bit there. Well, not for long, and then we've rejected, and yeah, it's getting interesting to see where we could go. Now, even if you look at this region here, we went above it. We went above it for a little bit, for a couple of days. I say a couple of days, it's actually 30 days. When you look at that region now, we're above it. We've been above it. So, yeah. You could have got a 30% gain, 40% gain, but we're above it for 102 days. So that's the kind of trend analysis, but you've not got to look as well, just to give you a point, at the moving average, at the EMA 34, sorry. If you start looking, oh cool, yay, oh okay, it's going bearish now. You know, even though you're above that, it's a lagging indicator, so just be mindful of that. And yeah, this is getting low now. So for me, if this starts hyping up, you're going to start seeing it cross above this resistance here. 1, the pivot points is a big one, but 2, you've got the EMA 34. So get above that, hold the spot, enter your position. Get above that, hold the spot, enter your position, and have a stop loss below each one. So every time, if you get to this point and you're already in here, you're in profit, guys. Well done, congratulations. Have a stop loss below when you enter this one, and if it carries on going in the trends, you're winning. So that's that one. And I'll look briefly at FX, but FX is on different exchanges. It's a part of the PundiX kind of element. Oh, that's the wrong one. Where is it? Function X. There it is. Apologies. It's relatively new. It's kind of like, you know, it's not the greatest element in the world. Yeah, it's not the greatest in the world. But again, TA wise, it's bearish. So we've got plenty of time to get involved in these if you are looking to get involved. I hope you enjoyed this video. A little bit different, I know. But ultimately, you've got to look at the elements of technical analysis along with the fundamentals. Fundamentals, why do I want to get involved in this? Oh, X, Y, and Z. TA, when should I get involved? Simple as that. So I hope you enjoy that one. Again, keep it simple. EMAs for the trend. Don't have to worry too much about anything else. Just get involved in that. Risk management is key, but if you're laddering into the climb of the trends, it's easy. Because you've got stop losses below your latest entry, and you just move it up with it. If it rejects, it rejects. Keep your losses very, very small. That's all you need to do.